It might not be the last that we see during the match. So
yeah, players are going to have to practice their dice rolling skills if you're going to put a Paradise Smasher in your extra deck. But I thought I saw Damien win it.
yeah,
Setting 1, which can sometimes mean passing, but not if you are Maliss.
indeed.
And Damien, I suppose with when you've already got to normal summon a monster, normally that's like the baseline for a turn. But nowadays, of course, with more Charming Perulia being one of the more popular cards in people's main decks, sometimes even that's a good start, that you just get to normal summon a monster uninterrupted.
Yeah, we've seen some players, I think, take deck building to quite a unique approach for this event, given that you're only playing against other 15 players. And Ben, for example, the other Vanquish Soul player, has been maining Chaos Hunter, which is, you know, quite an interesting take, which for sure you wouldn't take to the main event, but just makes so much sense here. But surprisingly enough, Dinka, which is known for all of his, you know, unique takes, is the one playing maybe the more traditional list out of the two.
Yeah, it is a big gamble running that Chaos Hunter. Do you think that's something that you would have done in an event like this, where there's only such a small field?
I think for sure. I mean, I don't know about Chaos Hunter itself, but I think, for example, we have seen other players using the Takian spells in Ryziel and then playing the one copy of Lancia. I think that's extremely smart, for example, and, you know, less risk-prone, I guess. But yes, it does make sense. I mean, you're really playing against such a small field, you know, and you can get info on what they've been playing throughout these, you know, events and WCQ different fields. So why not just take a risk?
I also feel like the Chaos Hunter is extremely powerful. I think the choice is either the Meows or it. It really depends on how you feel like about it, but I think it was a solid choice from Dinka's side because, you know, there are 7 Maliss competing in the event, so far so good for Dinka.
Yeah. But this looks quite amazing from Damian, and Dinka does not seem to have much of a response at the moment.
Yeah, he's always got quite a calm demeanor, though, Dinka. I don't think, you know, he could be winning a YCS and he'd look exactly the same while he was playing.
Indeed.
So I guess we'll have to see. The cards that you could wait for a long time are cards like Nibiru, possibly, which I think there might be a few copies in his deck list.
He's playing a couple, yeah.
Okay.
He's playing 2.
Nice.
But at this point with Maliss, there's almost so little to be afraid of, because once you've got your whole engine set up, you know you're probably going to have a March Hare in hand with a good few Maliss links in the grave that offers you like so much follow-up for the next turn. It makes it so difficult for your opponent to win on their turn. It's just so much to deal with.
I think it's also quite unfortunate from Dinka's side because he's maximizing on Mul Charmers in the main deck, but he didn't draw even one.
Yeah, that's rough.
And the Diddy Crows, of course, is not helping in this type of matchup. So
yeah, I mean, the reason why we can see obviously cards like Chaos Hunter, the same as Diddy Crow, being in the dark, matters for the Vanquish, and we now see an Ash Blossom. Been extremely patient with it.
Yeah, got to hold it for that premium time. It is one of the premium targets. Obviously, the Whitebinder going to have it stuck in the banished zone. And as well, since the GWC is now in the graveyard, that would probably be the easiest way to get the Whitebinder back. But GWC can't really get out of the graveyard without Whitebinder. So between those two things, it might be difficult to get it back.
Also got rid of the impermanence, so I mean that really makes you feel like his end is incredibly solid. And I mean, already seeing a start like this, I think it's Damian needs to be satisfied because there was also no Holy Su from Dinka's side.
Yeah, Damian just going full steam ahead here. You get some good insulation from Nibiru once you have Heart's Scriptor, because you can chain its effect to banish something, maybe itself, and it will just come back.
I mean, it is considered a deck to beat for a reason, and we have seen it plenty of time throughout the past events.
Yeah, one of the things that just makes it so resilient is you play all of your engine, and then you also draw a bunch of cards. So in later games, when you've got all these powerful side deck options, you're going to see them because you draw like 3 cards throughout the course of your combo, as well as all the other things you're doing.
Yeah, I think it's arguable that maybe it doesn't have the most powerful in terms of oppressiveness turn 1, but for sure it is the deck that has the more recursion. And yeah, here comes, I think at this point, one of the signature cards of Dinka, this part of Extravagance. Played in a lot of different decks.
Choosing very carefully what to banish.
See if there's an Ash Blossom.
And we do have Ash.
Very hard to argue with Ash Blossom on drawing 2 cards.
And that's going to be difficult for Dinka because he's left with 4 cards in hand and with the
rough.
IP on the field and also if there's like, okay, there's Rhoda.
Okay. Reinforcement of the army.
Reinforcement, it's one of these like old school, it's super powerful, but it's one of these cards that even though it's such a good normal spell, it's almost falling off in its power because of how popular Draw and Lockbird is. All of these like classic cards like Reinforcement of the Army and Bonfire, you almost just don't want to play them because of the Draw and Lockbird, but you kind of need to because of how important Razan is. It's a really big call out from Damien there, just activating Vela in response to Razan, saying like, you know, you might have it, you might not, but I'm gonna make you use it anyway. To some extent, you need to do that though, because you can only use one effect of Razan in the same chain. So if you use the Vela now, it prevents it from using the destroy all cards in the column effect. So it's kind of protecting your IP, even if it was going to get bounced.
Yeah, and this Baldric is so strong, obviously acting not only as a response for your opponent, but in Maliss it's just an engine card and it does so much. Yeah, this is looking quite rough from the German champion.
Yeah, and we see him just collecting cards in his hand, banish cards. There's also these extra effects to contend with that make it even sturdier, like for example the field spell preventing you from being attacked, except for your Malice links, and then because some of the Malice links making it so that all of your opponent's monsters have their attack and defense switched. All of these little extra effects.
But yeah, we're gonna use Baldric, we use Shane, the Rock, and recur. Let's raise it. But now, what do we do? Oh, okay.
Looks like your soul is good.
We do have one of the few extenders.
So I guess good for Damien to keep track of what cards are in Dinka's hand, and I think all we know is the Razan. He's revealed it again, so he's getting a lot of mileage out of this Razan. It's been revealed, it's turned itself into a rock, it's come back again. And Jialong going to get to search. Good for Dinka to have that Ash Blossom. I was thinking to myself just how powerful the non-target banish you have with the Malice Trap face down is, because again your opponent can return one of their cards on the field, so target interruptions not quite as strong, but if you have a non-targeting interruption, it doesn't matter if your opponent chains a Vanquish Soul effect to summon a new one, you can just banish the new one, and that's going to be the same for Heart Scripter. So at some point it might be that Dinkaboy just struggles to stick a monster to the field.
Here is the
brand new. I don't know about you guys, but when I read this card, I was absolutely stunned at how powerful it is.
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, it has all it needs, and I think that was really what the deck was looking for. And the card itself is amazing, and you can tell that maybe I think it's also a very good choice for a player like Dinka to play a deck like Vanquish Soul, because you have so many different options, and I think it makes a lot of sense, especially because like here in Damien just maybe want to make sure how all this all works, because it has double effects. So this is far from over. I mean, we have seen Dinkas at our Freedom Match areas multiple times throughout the years, and you never can count him off. So looks like the whole issue is now resolving.
Yeah, it's so important for the Vanquish Soul deck, because beforehand, they only had limited ways to get monsters onto the field if you'd like just sort of destroyed their monsters or banished their monsters that they summoned. But now this just gives you another way, along with the Stake Your Soul and of course your normal summon.
I mean, it was quite obvious that it was going to be rough to break this field, but we have also learned throughout these years to never count Dinka out. So if there is one person who could do it, it's probably him.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things about Vanquish Soul compared to other decks is it's so strong near the end of a duel, so you have no issue like playing out longer games. If you're like a long combo deck, perhaps you want to preserve time on the clock, but because Vanquish Soul it's quite short and it can inflict direct damage without needing to attack or anything like that, you're totally fine for games to take longer and win them near the end.
You also need to consider that basically Dinka is playing under Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, and Bolt Drakes, and this is far from over. Of course, this is the IP on the field from Damien's side, and here we're seeing another new card, Vanquish Soul Star, which is of course another layer of addition for the deck.
Oh, and yeah, we knew about it. Comes the other Ash that we revealed earlier in the turn, but yeah, that's plenty. Good old pyramid style from Dinka. And a lot of questions. And again, we start things off with the Pot of Extravagance. That's great.
Yeah, but you're allowed to Ash it now. You couldn't Ash it against the Fire King deck, otherwise they would use your Ash against you, but I don't think he's playing Heater this time.
But nope, does resolve.
Any drawn Lockbirds for Damien?
Not quite, and we follow it up with this Raisin.
And this is one deck that is going to be very, very tough for Maliss to beat when they're going second, because against a Link deck like Maliss, the premium thing you can do is just remove their monsters from the field. Against some decks, you want effect negation, but against Link decks and Cyberse decks, you often want to just remove their monsters from the field. And what deck is better at that than Vanquish Soul? You can pop things with Razin, you can steal things with Holly Sue, you can destroy the field with Snow Devil. They just have so many different ways. And what is this? Wow, a real blast from the past. That has taken me by complete surprise.
That's good. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, you don't really see the Phantasme being activated often, and there's the Ash Blossom being activated from Dinka.
Yeah, big Ash. Yeah, that's extremely annoying. Gonna, you know, stop it completely, and it's not like the deck wants to link summon all that much during their opponent's turn, but...
Yeah, Phantasme basically a Molchami. you reveal it on your opponent's turn, they reveal their Ash.
I believe there is an impulse, maybe. I mean, so... Let's see.
It's so difficult, though, to know what to interrupt, because at this point, Dinka's got access to almost everything. But
yeah.
He's going to hold on to it if he does have an impulse.
Mad Love comes down.
Impulse now would make a lot of sense, so maybe that means Damien's got another hand trap he wants to use before Impulse. I don't know what that could be. But yeah, I feel like wiping the field against Maliss as well is super powerful, so he's going to have multiple ways to just destroy whatever Damien summons.
But with a starting hand like this, honestly, it's as you mentioned, I think it's going to be very difficult for Damien. I mean, just alone this field, plus, you know, the trap card being added now from Dinka, the Snow Devil. You have so many different disruptions, and, you know, now, yeah, play is with Damien. We know most of Dinka's cards in hand, and I really want to see how Damien here can navigate through this.
We start with the good old set one.
Are you someone who remembers to set one to bluff? Because I feel like I would just always forget.
I mean,
like, I should set one.
Fair. Yeah.
Gotta remember to declare your phases and set cards and all these things, and just give your opponent a chance to react to something.
Absolutely. I mean, it did happen in Unchained meta as well, and we saw some interesting, you know, mind games with that back in the day. Yeah, again, I mean, it doesn't look at first glance as the most impressive opener, but actually there are so many layers to it.
Yeah, this is going to be so difficult. We've also got the Mad Love, which can just return a card on the field.
Yeah.
With the lowest defense.
I think in a way there are some similarities with the Fire King deck, where, you know, these openers are not really full of negations, but it's rough to go through all of it. And every card is something that, you know, in terms of advantage. So
I mean, maybe slipped up a little bit there by putting that Dormouse in an empty zone, or maybe he planned it all along.
could be, maybe, you know, baiting out and getting rid of that interruption. But this time it wasn't a bluff, so. Oh, 07 resolves. At least the good news is no Lancia, but can we play through this field?
I think he barely used an interruption really with Raz, and it's like such a minor thing to use, but it's already so disruptive for Maliss. Still staring down a good few.
And yeah, here he was Pikachu in the second round, and it was like, yeah, I mean, I had Lancia. So, yeah, I mean, he has a chance. Like, if he wins last round, he has a good chance to advance.
Speaking of Lancia, do we see one? Here is where it should come. No. Okay. So for now, the start is exactly the same. We opened Dormouse in game 1 as well.
The Lancia is just the highest quality interruption by so much, because again, even if you have a Meowls here, right, you're still going to get to draw a couple of cards. You're still going to get to do quite a few things. If you play the Chaos Hunter, you've got to give up a card here. You really, really do want that Lancia.
But for now, we see Fuvalos instead.
Makes sense from Dinka there. Activate the Fuvalos while your opponent has 2 fewer draws. Decrease the chances that they have Ash Blossom. And he's just been holding it for cold buy the time.
Yeah.
Wow, and here comes the second. And imagine, yeah. I mean, depends on what we have, because as you've mentioned, Tom, the deck does draw, as we can see here. And if you get your hands on a couple of interruptions, you might even just hold on for a turn.
Yeah, you could also pass in theory.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, especially with a hand like this. I think he also has a lot of darkness.
Is it a DD Crow as well?
Yeah, Mistaken Arrest, I think.
Yeah, I was going to mention Mistaken Arrest. Everyone's sort of talking about all these super powerful cards against Maliss, but Maliss has got its own one of those, you know, stop your opponent from playing the game cards. It's very good against Raizo Mitsurugi, and it's also very, very good against Vanquish Soul. They want to add so many cards.
Wow, what a hand. What a hand from Damien, honestly.
Veil, Crow. Is that a Bestial? No. Yeah, it's the Druid's form that we decide to banish.
I think it's the end of the world if it just passes, right?
Wow. No, I totally agree. I mean, why? Yeah. It's kind of an advantage matchup as well, so getting this free +2 from the Inca is great. And that's a rough one. How do you even play around Mistaken Arrest?
Yeah, Holy Sue.
Yeah.
Maybe he's thinking about something.
Yeah.
So maybe he does have it.
Maybe he does have it plus, 2 right attributes.
This would be your whole hand you're showing to your opponent, but I guess you kind of have to.
Does he have it?
Wow.
Okay. He has Raisin. Okay, that's good.
I mean, this is a beautiful hand for Dinka as well. Like double Fuvalos plus both your best starters. But we're just seeing how powerful Maliss is with all of these draw cards. You can set up a lot of advantage without giving your opponent all that much. So does he have the attributes required? No attributes to do anything else.
And
yeah, I was missing a piece essentially.
Yeah. Okay, Stake Your Soul and the Raisin that we knew about. We know Veiler, Crow, and I think Mistaken Arrest we said, so this will be an interesting one. Let's see.
It's going to be so hard for the Vanquish Soul deck, I think, under Mistaken Arrest, because you're just going to run out of cards in your hand, and you need to keep a steady supply of cards in your hand to be activating these effects.
Yeah. And I think this is where we are going to find out if we have enough cards to reveal. Do we have another fire is the question.
What is that last card? You need all of your cards to be monsters
I
in
think we
Vanquish
don't.
Soul.
Oof, and this is going to hurt a lot. Yeah, it's rough. Mistaken Arrest, shutting down the Inca. And yeah, resolves.
There's not so many cards that can negate a Mistaken Arrest.
Yeah.
Primite Drill Beam.
This one is going to hurt a lot.
Cross out Designator.
Yeah.
There we go.
No chain. One card in hand from the Inca, I believe.
This one's going to hurt a lot because
just...
There's no way to activate any Vanquish Souls.
Seems like we will indeed overlay, and yeah, that's the strategy.
Just a 2-material Paradise Smasher. You are allowed to do it. I absolutely love this. Just look your opponent in the eye and say, I'm going to make this. When you're in a dire situation, I guess it's something. I mean, surely Damien cannot let this resolve. I mean, your odds on for it not to affect you, right? Because you could tie or you could lose the dice roll, but you just can't risk it. There's
I mean,
you'd rather take the risk, right?
you take it. I mean, we have Veiler, we know, but
is there a cost to detach the materials? I haven't used this card so much.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay, we're gonna read it.
Just checking, like, are you even allowed to make this with 2 materials? It should be illegal.
Yeah, we are. And yeah, you see effect gonna be activated, then... Ooh, okay. We do not use the Veiler, but instead we do have the Maliss quick spell.
Do we have yet another trap?
I think the last card is maybe the 06.
Yes, we do.
Card.
Damien's sitting
What's
very happy
next?
now.
Zeus? What do we have?
I suppose the extra deck, you don't really know what's in a Vanquish Soul extra deck because they play so many different cards under the extravagance. You just kind of fill it out.
I guess that is the case. We just attack over a couple of monster.
Probably very hard to optimize the extra deck because you don't know what what you need under extravagance.
And yep, here comes the rock. We do have that Crow and Veiler yet, and yeah, we're just gonna use this Veiler. It's gonna be a rough one from the Inca. One more card in hand. What is it going to be?
Really struggling to imagine what card could get him out of this. Maybe an Artifact Lancier would be the best thing to have picked up.
Yeah. Because like with one card in hand left, and next turn Damien most likely is it's able to, seal this one. But
yeah, he's fully loaded with 2 traps set and a couple of cards in his hand. Going to start the turn even with a Maliss on the field. I do love the creativity, though, of going for the Paradise. It's something maybe a lot of players just wouldn't even cross your mind to do. Here
the Inca summon the Vanquish Soul Rocks, which, we'll see. once in a while. Also, this is quite of a new release.
Yeah, I'll bring it up for you guys as well.
Tiny little bit of extra value. If you've battled with a Vanquish monster, you can destroy a card, but it can also be upgraded into a Zeus.
Yep.
Which I guess is what's about to happen now.
Most likely.
It's pretty funny that, because normally it's it doesn't really go well with Zeus, the Vanquish Soul rocks, because you have to attack with something, another Vanquish Soul, which isn't an XYZ, but then because you attack with the Paradise Smasher now, you can make a Zeus.
And that's a pass. So 1 card in hand for Dinka. Pretty much relying on this Zeus to survive, but so many cards still available to Damien, and yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, Damien, got to remember, he is also under mistaken arrest, so he cannot activate his MTP.
Yeah, here comes also the main difference, of course, between Diddy Crow and the Bestials. You cannot Diddy Crow your own cards, which in these kind of situations could be extremely good.
Zeus could still present a little bit of a problem if you're not careful. So Damien just having a think. I guess the question is, can you afford to let this Dormouse resolve? Maybe you just hope that your opponent just uses it to summon another Maliss rather than get a March here.
Yeah, especially because now it may be quite clear that it doesn't have a Lancia. Yeah, he goes for the Zeus right away.
It makes sense, because you know otherwise your opponent's just going to get March here.
Deck resolves.
Back to square one from Damien here with Zeus cleaning up, and
it's a pass. Wow.
Absolutely incredible that.
Yeah. That managed to stop him.
A combination of that and his own mistaken arrest.
There are quite a few interesting draws that Dika could pick up, only 2 cards, but yeah, he's checking his extra.
This is where all of those cards you like stuffed into your extra deck and you thought, I'm never going to use these.
Yeah.
Because Damien is left at 59, so let's see if there's any chance Dinka.
It's gonna be soon 2900, I guess, and
Yeah, you can do an awful lot of damage with just a single copy of Razan or Mad Love if you draw it, but
no.
No luck for Damien.
Yeah, just push damage, 30 minutes remain. Should be enough, but the difference is it's quite huge, but no, it's a pass back to Damien. Can he find an answers, and what a good one it is. Yep.
Will we see a Malice Link eventually hit the field?
No Lancia for Dinka.
Yeah, I mean,
Could it be Chaos Hunter though?
would be great, but doesn't seem like that is the case. Dormouse gets to resolve.
Got to think this Dormouse would be stopped at all costs if it was able to stop. So possibly on the mind for Damien is just Nibiru. So it's hard to think about what cards wouldn't have been activated.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Because you know also the first one in hand is definitely not fire. And yeah, the second one...
I guess there's been nothing ashable yet. It's amazing, Malice. It's so sneaky. You can access your deck. You know, you got into your deck 2 times and nothing
and still
is...
no ash
Yeah.
is an option.
choice for Damien here to summon the Wizard. There's some thought maybe if you hold it in hand, it's one of the best ways to deal with the potential Nibiru. But I guess if you also just hold Marchair in hand, it does just as well.
I think we are holding double TD Crow maybe at this point. Wow.
DD Crow to me speaks like you didn't have any other cards you wanted to put in against Vanquish, so you need to take out those Mulch armies, so you just stick something in.
Yeah, I mean, can be decent against the Rock. I mean, not optimal because but at least you can cut off some of the options that it can recur, I guess. And yeah, this is similar idea. But you're right that Nibiru looks more and more like a possibility at this point.
So I think I'm just pointing out here that he has already used the Dormouse. But we still have a lot more in the tank for Damien being able to set the GWC 06.
And here comes the DD Crow.
Finally getting some use. What a great use it is. Making that access code.
Yeah. Talk of a life point gap that can be reduced quickly.
It's so tough here. There's no, even if you have Nibiru, there's no real time to use it. You can wait, but you know that Marchair is still sitting in the hand. And GWC sat there ready to go. We're going to the battle phase here would threaten 8,000 damage.
Do we have anything? Do we have that Nibiru in hand? That seems to be the question. We're counting life. And no, we do not, and that is it.